Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good afternoon. Salam, Denarish. Welcome to the Ethiopian Cultural Center. I'm sure you know where you are. We would like to thank you for coming out today. We have a very special event in mind featuring Mr. Jeff Pearce, celebrating international author. We're going to wrap up our meet and greet, and I would like to welcome Muluken Teshome to give us our official welcome. And of course, that'll be followed by the presentation by Mr. Jeff Pearce. So please, a round of applause for Miss Mimi Teshome.
Thank you for all of you and for coming here. And thank you, friends, family, and all Ethiopians, and my non-Ethiopian friends. It's a special day today, and I have been asked what's the event all about. I think this event is about celebrating a good friend of Ethiopia, Jeff Pearce. It was, the second question I received is who's doing this? It's just a group of friends effort. I might have come up with an idea, but there were so many people behind this to make this happen. Why? The answer is why not? And I think I really want to say, first of all, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to Jeff Pearce. Anybody doesn't know Jeff Pearce, he's a Canadian, he's an author, he's a journalist, he's an anthropologist. I think we came to know about Jeff on his first book, I think if I'm correct, about when he wrote Prevail, it's about the Adwa, the war with Italians and Ethiopians. And after that, I think he was known to the Ethiopian community during the last few years of what was going on in Ethiopia, of the current war. I have been following his writings, and I found it to be very bold, very honest, and he shows integrity and ethics in so many different levels. And just to give you a brief idea of how we came to this event is, I extended an invitation, but originally my thought was just to buy a few books and send it to the libraries back home. But then I felt that was not really enough. A friend indeed, and we might have to celebrate him. And what's a better way of celebrating an author than having a book signing? And when I put the invitation, he agreed to come here and to do a presentation for us for free. And I think all of you, I hope you have a very clear understanding that Mr. Jeff agreed to come here and give a free presentation in a time and the day where most professionals, to make a speech, there is always a speech fee. But and again, thank you, Jeff. That was very nice of you. I don't want to go into the details of everything, but I think he became very crucial. His effort became very crucial, especially at the time when Ethiopia there was so much pressure coming from different angles, especially from the United Nations Security Council. And I think what he did was amazing. And I'm not a very good speech maker, so I won't go into further detail. But I want to thank some of you who has been very, very fundamental in making this event a possibility. I'm going to name you out. I know you're not going to be happy with it, but without your help, this wouldn't have been possible. There was financial support, there was advice, there was moral support. So I'm going to start with Teshome. I don't know if all of you know him. He's a very, very special friend. He's very generous in supporting financially with his time, with his labor. And thank you so much. And my other friend Samuel Tesfaye, and he's been very, very, very supportive and technical, and even driving Jeff around town because he knows where to take his guests, but also really supporting financially his effort. Then comes my friend, engineer, Spindra Baba. has been always, jump in when it comes to opening their books and doing what they believe is the right thing to do in helping our people in Ethiopia. And I'm going to also mention another friend who's not here, very, very supportive. And also my beloved cousin, she helped making this event, give it some color, and also financially, my Elizabeth Tefferani D'Agostino. If you see that display, that's all her effort. And I want to give a special thanks to my daughter, Sarah Yosef. I know she's going to not kill me today, but she's the one who did all the design, the leaflets, and everything that has to do with the computer. Not only that, she cut her trip short, her vacation from Europe to come and attend this event. And thank you, Sarah. I know I asked too much from you guys, and but thank you for your support. But also, this event wouldn't have been possible, for all of you who come, take your time on Saturday afternoon, and hopefully we'll get something out of this, and something will continue. I'm not sure what it is. And thank you so much. With that, I'm going to invite Chef Jeff Pearce. Please, ባካችሁ በምናውቀው በሀገራችን ጭብጨባ ፍጨት I don't know. So Jeff, this is your floor.
But I'll just refer to my notes now and then. So first, can you give me another wave of applause, please? Let me tell you how amazing this is. Publishers don't send authors out on tours anymore, unless you're John Grisham or somebody big like that. They don't send people like me out on tours. So when she writes and says, we want to bring you down, it's like, you just me, and I'm going, wow, okay, I get to see Atlanta for free, I'll go. So that is amazing. And most of the time when you see book authors, they show up and, I don't blame them for being suspicious, like this gentleman here. He's going, what the hell is this guy going to talk about? And they just read a chapter of the book. And I'm going, well, I don't want to do that, because that's just really bad performance art. You all know how to read. You can read my book for yourself. Buy a copy. So I want to give you your values for it because it's hot out there and you came in on a Saturday afternoon. So I'll try and make this worth your while. And I made this way too long, so I'll try and shorten it. First off, why should anybody be listening to me? Why should you be listening to this bald white guy? And who am I to tell you what's going on in your country, or even your own history? I was invited down years ago to Silver Spring, Maryland, and they brought me out soon after I had published Prevail, and they were amazing to me. And I get up there, and just like here, I am the only white guy in the room, and I'm thinking to myself, you're dead. This is crazy. I'm going to lecture these people on their own history. Because I wrote a book for an audience of African American people. I didn't write it for you guys. I didn't realize you guys were interested. I thought you knew all this stuff. So it was meant for, African Americans and black people in Atlanta, in Chicago, in New York. I didn't know you guys would be interested. And you guys are so amazing and wonderful to me. And for Baylor's Call, we didn't have any marketing support. They didn't have any publisher. There was no people who come on the internet. There's no mainstream reviews. It was just word of mouth that you guys liked the book. And I'm going, whoa, this is cool. They like it. So one guy in publicity department years ago, he sent it to Massa Mengistu. Massa Mengistu said nice things about it. She was wonderful. And the thing took off. And I appeared in this documentary with Haile Selassie, and then I'm back home on the day 4th in Toronto. I'm doing good. And I'm like, did I work with this person? How do I know this person? Because I'm an idiot. I don't know lots of the right people. And so that's another reason why I'm here. The other is that I always want to write books. And I'm Somebody said, this is an antique. And I said, no. Earlier this afternoon, I said, no, I'm the antique. You're talking to the antique. When I went in to write books, they put you in journalism. And that was a hell of an education. And so that's part of what we're here to talk about this afternoon in terms of Western media. Because what happens is you are supposed to pay your dues. You are supposed to go do local news. And I don't know about you guys, but local news is boring. There are state council meetings, and there is school board meetings, and there's other stuff. And if you're smart and clever, they will let you cover a state senate, and then they will move you up to that level. And maybe one of the networks, like CBS and NBC, they'll pick you to be a regional correspondent. Then, if you look clever, they send you off to be a foreign correspondent. Why? What do you know? So you're somebody who goes off to France, Ethiopia, whatever, and you're supposed to learn on the job. As far as I know, there is not a journalism course, unless somebody can correct me here, there's not a journalism course ever in the United States, or in my country, where you take history courses. So you learn what the hell about the country that you're supposed to go cover. What's your homework? What's your background on this? This is how you get, things that are a little bit different in England, because in England, you can come and go to an old boys school, and then you go take African studies at Oxford University, and then you get Tom Charter. And that's how you end up with that. And he still needs a fixer. Now, does anybody here know what a fixer is in journalism? I'm taking that's a lot of long stairs. Okay, I'll answer my question. A fixer is a guy who can be, or woman, who can be a journalist in their own right. And they do the interpretation. They plan a lot of, they get you the contacts, they plan a lot of interviews for you. Sometimes they'll chauffeur you around. So you can look really clever for CNN or NBC, and you don't speak the language, and you don't know the history of the country, but you look damn good. You can look like Richard Engel or Anderson Cooper, and meanwhile, some Ethiopian, Eritrean, is guiding you around and giving you all the information. And that's how it works in terms of these things. Well, we got a couple. How many of you remember those? The clowns went on they went on C-SPAN and said they were going to take things over. And you guys all responded and said, who the hell are these guys? They don't represent him. And within a short while, they were a laughing stock. And except for Hanny Geber Christos, nobody ever heard from them again. Because these were the guys who stood by the podium and said, we'll take over the country, we can negotiate, and we can take by force, whatever they like. And they actually said this during a news conference. And humor brought them down. It's why I still go online every so often on Twitter, and I say that Alula Salmon punches dolphins. He punches innocent dolphins on the streets of New York. He goes out to Olive Garden and rolls around in salad bars and sings I'm a Little Teapot. Because he's a creep, and I want him to look ridiculous. And he deserves that. This man is a bull. So humor is one way to take these guys down. Make fun of them. They deserve it. They have it coming to them. The other way is shame. I still am wondering why. This is supposed to be the age of Black Lives Matter. But every damn time there is an interview, they bring Fungus Davison on, who has been deported twice from Ethiopia, who doesn't live there, who you guys, as far as I know, if it's a poll, would collectively hate this guy. And they go to him to ask for comments on what is happening in Ethiopia. Why? I want you guys, wherever your readers are, seek them out and find them and say, instead of you guys just settling for your 2 minutes that Al Jazeera or Deutsche Welle Can you say right on the air, why are you talking to this guy? Why are you interviewing him? We kicked this guy out twice. Why are you talking to this guy? Why are you talking to Martin Cloud? Martin Cloud didn't go and cover Low Ward. Martin Cloud lives in greater London area. I know Martin. I interviewed Martin years ago. Why are you talking to this guy? So shame is a powerful weapon to this. And they will keep doing this. They will keep lying. They will keep doing this. I've said it before. Somebody here, a journalist here, what he was talking about was, I'll reiterate, alternative. He said, go and reach out to he got into trouble for this a while back because he wasn't talking about to the left. He was talking to Eritrean activists. But the lesson goes. And people said, he's got tactics. And he said, don't do another protest unless you plan to burn the Eritrean embassy down. And they said, I'm not telling you to go burn that, which he wasn't. And he said, go reach out to religious leaders and go hook up with the House of Lords because that'll get you attention and publicity. Where do you think they got the idea for your album, who is the fake one that the TTLF put in place, to go say, where do you think they got that from? There. This guy had an entire action plan for the TTLF already there for you. It's all about spectacle. It's all about spectacle in terms of getting the attention. When No More was still working, to the actors from that, and they said they wanted my advice, which was very nice. And I said, take a page out of Martin Cloud's book. Go for spectacle. And I said, go get yourself two makeshift coffins and write on them on the side, death of Western journalism. Death of straight journalism. And they carried these coffins around the White House. And they scared the crap out of Joe Biden's people to the point where they were circling around with a helicopter. Because the activists in D.C. were marching around the White House with a couple of coffins. And we got a confrontation for that. You have to fight back. But you can't claim the fight. You can't claim the battle based on one protest, based on one tweet, based on one Facebook posting. They're shadow banning me right now. If you go on Twitter, you see my Twitter account. It says 44 people. It does not go up. It does not go down. And they think I'm an idiot. And every time I see 50 followers or whatever, the next day I'm back to 44.4. And they're messing with me. And they're messing with other accounts. They mess with all the pro-Ethiopian accounts. And they keep screwing around. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that you have to get off your ass and find other ways to fight rather than just social media. You have to get into the streets. You have to get into the faces of your elected officials. And this is the States. I'm a Canadian. So of course I don't use absolutely no tactics on and you guys, there's a campaign basically to get guys who are elected who will side with you in terms of Ethiopia. And I think that's great. I don't particularly like the candidates because they're Republicans and these guys are anti-climate change. They're anti-critical race theory, they're anti-LGBT. To hell with it. The thing is, you need them to deliver for you. So the strategy is working, and I say go for it. But get in their face. Because sometimes you guys are way too polite. You're very nice. And you have to make it clear. If you do not deliver, you don't go back. You don't go back to Congress. You don't go back to the Senate. Because you failed us on this. So deliver. This is where it's at. This is where the fight has to go. And everything is everything. The reason as well is that you saw what happened with, we were talking about this, Samuel and I, in the car. No more, I'm not affiliated with the movement. I know the founders, most of them. Well, when I say the prominent ones, I know at least 3 of the prominent ones. 2 of them are, like on my phone right now. But, for all intents and purposes, no more got smeared as a pro-government, auxiliary, which was a complete lie. And it was almost laughable, because if they knew how people really felt. What else can you do? How do you fight that? As I said, you have to go find other diaspora organizations because they don't do this again. They'll do this again. They'll use the same damn playbook to try to do regime changes in their African countries. And one way, one like, oh, they're just talking. No, you're not, because there will be a coalition of Pan-African activists out of Georgia, out of Kansas, out of Minnesota. I don't know who you would guess. But join collectively with these other groups and join together and tell them this. Tell them, hey, they're gunning for you next. Join with us. And then that argument falls apart. You can't say, oh, they're just sitting on behalf of you and no, they're not. Because there is APAC, there's ECONOMS, and there's whatever organization you guys belong with. Don't let them get away with it. Because I can see it happen. I can see it coming. That they're going to do that eventually. What it comes down to, sorry for the is what I talk about. I want to include this when I wrote this down, but I got to include this. These, sorry, I'm going to swear, how small we have children. We have these assets who claim that no more was a coordinated movement. Oh no. They're coordinated. Heaven forbid that the Africans get organized. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? That's like saying you're a civil rights. We're in the birthplace of Martin Luther King. I went by to see the house. Like, oh my God, so the black people are organized. Ooh. As if they're not entitled to that. This is bullshit. So you are as entitled as anybody else to organize and coordinate as you see fit. And there's something to my ears, widely racist, granted, I'm the only white guy in the room, but sounds a little racist when you say, oh, the black people are coordinating. What the hell is that? But what it comes down to is what I call, we have 3 things going here. With this Pan-Africanism, you have to turn it into those practical things. Things policy, research, activism. And where you're going with this is, notes. Yeah. Economic defense, cultural defense, and educational defense. Economic defense should be self-explanatory. Educational defense, what am I talking about? Brings us to the second half of what we're talking about in terms of talking to you about teaching history. There are videos right now that you can go online that will tell you that Menelik hid in a cave during the Battle of Babylon. And at the same time, he killed 5 million Romans. Which is it? Either you have the coward in the cave, or you have this guy who committed genocide. Make up your mind. We know hour by hour where Menelik was during the battle. And as I was saying to Samuel this afternoon, Ras Alula and Ras Makona were fighting side by side you think they might have noticed that their top guy, Father Dog, hey, where's that? You know? Oh, we have people going around saying that there's a clip, I think it's lyrics, this guy claimed that he's from Ezekiel, and he claims that the Axumites, the trains gave Egypt and Mesopotamia and Sudan and all these other cultures their history. Okay, the Axumites were roughly contemporaries with the Roman Empire. They peaked and started to fade around 900 AD. People don't read, and they don't read critically. That's part of the reason why I write for these things. I'm going to script your shot. So it comes down to educational defense. Did that good? I've been slowly working on a new history of Ethiopia. It's going to take me some time because I don't speak your language. Because we don't have them. Aru Zuda gave an excellent one that goes up to 1991. Well, okay. You can't go into a bookshop where you can find a nice comprehensive history in English from Axum all the way to Abbey. So I'm going, okay, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm going to write. It'll take me a while. Give me a couple of years since I just finished that. Because you desperately need one to stop the people who are lying about you. And I have seen some pathetic examples that are in the place of that. But beyond Ethiopian history, you got to educate yourself on African history. Everybody does, me included. And as I keep saying to people, you guys are my teachers. This is the problem with these Western journalists. There is no curiosity without humility. You gotta admit, I don't know something. You know, I am surrounded around with captains who I hope some of you, most of you know. He used to live there. He's done fantastic work. He has a photographic exhibition, which I hope will be shown here, as well as other cities. And I'm asking this guy. And I'm thinking to myself, God, he must think I'm an idiot. Because, you know, he knows. I can't find my way around Addis. Well, I actually can't find my way around but you all bear in mind this, not because I wrote it, this is a book. This is a book. This is one of the greatest examples of African educational achievement, and one of the greatest examples of human achievement. Why? And I bet nobody will guess it except those who possibly read this book. When they taught us in school, I don't know about you guys, but they taught us in school and said, where did writing come from? Writing either came from Egypt or Mesopotamia. It was again the first thing. Cover the kids' ears. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit who's the first person to get on with writing? You know what's really amazing? The Egyptians invented papyrus. When the Egyptians or Mesopotamians invented writing, they inscribed on the wall. I have to go up to the wall and go read and go, I gotta come to you. I gotta come to your wall to read this. Egyptians invented papyrus. That means we got papyrus, then vellum, then paper, and now I can go anywhere. I can read this in the privacy of my own home. You can read it. I can pass it to you. You don't have to take my word for it. I wrote this on the wall. No, you can take the book and read it. You have the privacy of your own thoughts to consider. That is huge. Africans made writing portable. Africans should get a major achievement award for this. Africans inoculated against smallpox centuries before white people did. Why are we talking about it? in Uganda were practicing successful cesarean sections at least by the 1800s. This is documented, which means they're probably doing it at least maybe a century, another century beforehand. Where is the credit for that? Nobody talks about the contributions that Africans made to civilization. There is no such thing as Western civilization. It doesn't exist. There's always been cross-cultural contact between the Middle East and Africa, between Europe and Africa, between Africa and China. At least one pope in the history of Europe went down to an African university to study in around, it's in the book, 1400s, 1600s. At least one pope went down to an African university. Why are we talking about that? Where is the intellectual legacy of African discussed? What did you guys take in school? Since you were teaching? Show of hands? Anybody? No? Getting a lot of blank stares. We gotta change that. We gotta change that big time. And how is this whole time good? Because I'm starting to say you have idiots. What an abundance of idiots. Who they're having problems with the 1619 project in terms of critical race theory, in terms of teaching about how the legal system, how city planning are affected by races. If they can't handle that, imagine what's going to rock their world when they learn that Africans are responsible for their own Christianity. St. Augustine was a guy from Numidia. He thought of himself as African. He talked about himself as African. You never hear that. Imagine how that's going to rock. Now, if they don't know about African history, how can you expect them to be on your side when they get elected to Congress or get elected to the Senate? Because, that's where the arrogance comes from. That comes from ignorance. So, anybody who's younger than 30 in this room, and I still have it because I can't see, I'm looking to you because please don't take my word for it. You don't have to read just this book. Go dig through the back sources that I used. Go educate yourself. You find out about right or wrong. But we have to fight on multiple fronts. As I pointed out to somebody today, this is a diaspora association. Why do we still allow white people in Europe and the United States to stop your relatives from coming and going, to go on holiday in Italy, or to need a visa to jump over hoops to go to Germany? There's a woman who, she's in the book, selling peppermint. It was either her or a friend who wanted to go to Thailand on a diving holiday, and they're giving her the gears. Why are they treating it like Africa is a great big, gulag where you can't get out? You guys are the lucky ones because obviously you're here. Many of you are American citizens, but think of all these other people back there. They can't come and go as they please. What the hell is that? That's got to change. So, economic defense, educational defense, cultural defense. By cultural, I don't mean in terms of this ethnicity or that ethnicity. We're talking about values. Where you were born is an accident of geography. It's okay to be proud of your culture. Nationalism is not patriotism. Be patriotic to the values. But you need that now. You need that educational defense, economic defense, cultural defense. Right in these pages is something I coined and put online first, and I thought, whoa, this is good. So you put it in the book to make sure that stays. But I said the West will begin to understand Africa when it realizes it's not talking to a child, it's talking to its mother.